My name is Sophia Sambono. I'm a curator of Indigenous Australian art here at Quagoma. I'm a Jingali woman. My country is in the central northern desert of the Northern Territory, and I want to acknowledge that we're always walking on someone else's country. This isn't my country. We're always respecting and tread lightly wherever we go and respecting the ongoing custodianship of the land. It's my pleasure to talk with Mullis Lugis today about his work. I will ask, do you want to introduce yourself and where you're from?
Oke, selamat siang. Perkenalkan, nama saya Muhammad Mullis Lugis. Saya dari Makassar, Indonesia. Saya setiap harinya bekerja sebagai seorang dosen di jurusan seni rupa dan desain. Saya juga sebagai dosen, saya aktif di dalam kegiatan berkesenian dan saya fokus di selama ini fokus di seni grafis atau printmaking.
Okay, so his name is Mullis Lugis. He's from Makassar. He's currently a lecturer in one of the university in Makassar, and his specialty is in pre-making.
Thank you. Thank you for making it all the way here from Makassar to talk about your art. It's a pleasure to have your work in the APT. What we might do is talk a bit about the works. They are woodcut prints, so Mullis carves into the wood and to create the prints. Do you want to tell us about that process of making the prints?
Oke, terima kasih. Saya sangat senang atas kedatangannya semua. Terima kasih. Untuk karya saya ini ada dua seri. Ada seri Tobalo, and ini seri Sangyan Seri and Meompalo Karlai. Karya ini saya buat dengan teknik mencukil di papan kayu. Kemudian saya beri cat, kemudian saya cetak di kanvas dan kain.
Okay, so he is really happy to be here and meeting with you all. This is his work, and there's the two edition. So the first one is there, Tobalo is the name, and this is Sangyang Seri. So how he did it was he carved from the wood, and he used paint after that.
Karya Sangyan Ser ini gagasannya dari kisah cerita Lagaligo. Cerita Lagaligo itu adalah sastra atau epos cerita sastra Bugis, ya, menceritakan tentang kisah Dewi Padi. Dewi Padi ini adalah jelmaan dari kematian sang Dewi Padi. Jadi, ketika anak dari orang pertama di bumi itu kemudian meninggal, dan kemudian di kuburannya beberapa hari setelah dia meninggal tumbuhlah padi. Dan itulah jelmaan dari Dewi Padi dalam kisah Sangyang Seri.
So this one, the Sangyang Seri one, is from a famous stories in Makassar, which is Lagaligo. So it is talking about the goddess of rice. So we could see the goddess of rice. It was the son of the Lagaligo, when they died, that's why there is the rice.
di dalam cerita lain, Sangyang Seri juga muncul di cerita Lontara Meong Palo. Lontara Meong Palo itu adalah lontara atau cerita tentang cerita tentang cerita rakyat yang menyimpan tentang nilai-nilai yang menjadi prinsip orang Bugis. Ya, Meong Palo ini adalah cerita tentang kucing belang tiga.
So this one, Meong Palo, it's talking about lontara. Lontara is the words. So lontara is the manuscript of Makassar. And then this is talking about 3 colors of cat. You could see it here. There is a 3 kind of shades. It's talking about it.
So what's the significance of Meong Palo?
Apa kayak signifikannya ini Meong Palo yang kucing? Kayak apa artinya ini?
Dia adalah sebenarnya jelmaan, dia dalam cerita Lontara itu bagaimana kita berbudi pekerti di dalam cerita naskah itu. Jadi dia adalah penjaga dari Dewi Padi. Dia adalah penjaga Dewi Padi yang setia menemani Dewi Padi.
So he is like the god of the goddess of the rice. So he will take care of him, take care of the goddess of rice, and this cat will accompany the goddess of rice everywhere because he's the god of it.
The protector. Yeah.
Protector, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I wanted to just go back to the first one quickly. That's about the transformation of the goddess into rice. Yeah? And the...
Oh, this one.
Yes, yeah.
Jadi ini yang pertama yang Sangyang Seri adalah apa dari apa peri dia jadi.
Iya. Jadi dia sebenarnya jelmaan dari Padi, Dewi Pak dia ibaratnya jelmaan sesuatu yang berubah menjadi perempuan Padi itu. Jadi Dewi Padi. Jadi sebenarnya ketika anaknya ini Pak Totoe meninggal, 7 hari dia meninggal, kemudian dia berkunjung, ketika dia rindu berkunjung ke kuburannya, dan dia menemukan tumbuh padi di kuburannya itu.
Karena dia karena dia meninggal makanya itu.
Iya.
So you're right, it's a transformation. Before the goddess of rice, it's transformed to the rice. You could see. It said that when his father died, she would like to always go there, and she would find the rice is there when she went to the cemetery of his father.
Kalau ini adalah tentang ritual persembahan Dewi Padi Mapadendang, ya. Jadi untuk mendapatkan keberhasilan di dalam pertanian, masyarakat Bugis melakukan ritual Mapadendang menumbuk pandik sebagai kegiatan penghormatan terhadap Dewi Padi.
So this is the second one, which is Mapadendang. It's one of the culturally that we do in Bugis Makassar, which is for the glorious of rice ahead for harvesting in the future. So what they do is you could see they are crushing the rice in the. It calls Mapadendang.
Kalau ini karyanya terkait dengan ritual Madojabine. Madojabine itu adalah ritual menjaga menjaga padi yang akan ditanam besoknya. Mereka begadang menjaga padi sambil membacakan lontara Meong Palo. Ya. Menjaga benih padi supaya mereka harapannya adalah mendapat keberkahan hasil pertanian, dan itu dianggap sebagai kegiatan penghormatan terhadap Dewi Sangiang.
So this one is how they are protecting the seed of the rice so they wouldn't sleep. And why is this they're protecting? Because they would feel that in the future this would be harvested beautifully by talking about lontara from the cat one, the Meong Palo, sorry.
So the Lontara, the script from Lagaligo, that chapter they read is about Meong Palo for that ceremony. No?
Yes.
Yes?
Cerita dari Meong Palo ini itu yang dibaca, itu sebagai ritual sebenarnya.
So they read the story of the Meong Palo for the ritual, for the harvesting for the future. So they would get a lot of rice, good one, and they praise for it for the Dewi, like the goddess of rice here.
Lontara Meong Palo itu dulu dibuat dalam bentuk seperti ini, tidak dalam bentuk lembaran buku. Ini adalah tulisan lontara yang dibuat di daun lontar. Lontar itu pohon, ya daun pohon lontar.
So if you could see this is how lontara is. Like this is the words of it, and they're writing it in the. If you could see, this is kind of like the rice grains. The rice grains. If you could sit here, and it has been right. The lontara words here.
Yeah, on the scroll of the manuscript that is swirling around. Yep. Yeah.
Oke, kalau soal karya Tobalo, itu sebenarnya idenya dari tentang diskriminasinya orang Tobalo. Orang Tobalo itu adalah kelompok masyarakat yang tinggal di daerah Bugis yang punya karakter kulit belang. Mereka itu bagi masyarakat sekitarnya dianggap sebagai masyarakat yang terkutuk. Mereka terkutuk karena cerita tentang mitos. Mereka ketika pergi perang diminta untuk memotong ayam hitam ketika pulang, tapi itu tidak dilakukan sehingga mereka terkutuk menjadi belang. Di mitos yang lain mereka karena mengganggu kuda yang sedang melakukan hubungan ini, dan mereka dikutuk. Itu yang cerita yang.
Okay. So if we move forward to that, that's the Tobalo, that one, guys, the big one. That's about talking about the Tobalo culture, that they are actually cursed. There's one tribe in the Bugis that's cursed. Why are they cursed? It's because of two things. The first one is because they are being told to cut chicken, black chicken, but they didn't cut it. And the second one, they disturb horses when they are doing intercourse. So that's why the curse is their colors are not evenly. Like their colors is like zebra, like black and white, black and white, black and white.
Okay, thank you. So the carvings that you do are so intricate and so detailed. How long does it take to do something with so many lines, and when you have such detail where you're making this wood seem real for us, how long does it take?
kalau ukuran yang ini dia ya sekitar hampir ada yang sebulan ya. Kalau yang sebulan itu yang ini. Ya, kalau ini hampir sebulan. Ya, hampir sebulan. Ini hampir sebulan. Kalau ini sebulan lebih sedikit. Ya. Ya.
Okay, so how long that he take? It is like it's unreal to even hear that he said, this is a month, only a month. This is almost a month, this one. This one is almost a month. And this one, a month and a half, a little bit.
Kalau yang besar itu 2 bulan lebih.
And the Tobalo one, the big one there, it's just only he did just 2 months.
Wow.
A little bit of 2 months, yep.
So much work that you put into your art. It was a pleasure to come visit you in Makassar last year and see your studio. Do you produce them all on campus at the studio, and as well as teaching? Like, how do you make it all work?
Kita kerja apa itu cuma bikin ini di studio dan mengajar atau what are you asking again? Like how did you do? Like is it in the studio?
Because you teach as well, how do you balance that
Right.
time? Yeah,
Jadi
as
kan
an
kita
artist.
mengajar juga dan kita buat ini juga di studio. Bagaimana keseimbangan apa untuk kita lakukan?
Saya mengerjakan karya ini biasa di luar jadwal mengajar. Bahkan biasa saya kalau di studio itu biasa sampai larut malam untuk mengerjakan ini.
Karena di situ kapan imajinasi itu?
Tidak, memang saya membutuhkan waktu yang memang di luar jam kerja.
So, as I told before that he is also a lecturer, so he did this all out of the lecture time of works, and he said he always been in the studio till late night, like that's kind of his home. So, and he did this all there. So, yeah.
So beautiful. Again, I'll ask one more question before I'll open up for other people. One thing that I've been wanting to know while I've been looking at these beautiful works is what is the significance of the leaf?
Dia tadi bilang pokoknya kayak kita keren sekali. Nah, apa signifikannya daun itu ditutup?
Oke. Daun itu sebenarnya kalau di Makassar daun siri.
Daun sirih.
Daun siri itu bagi kita orang Makassar adalah simbol kesucian. Kesucian. Itu saya tutupi mukanya karena bagi saya kan dalam cerita lagu-lagu itu dia adalah perempuan cantik. Dan cantik itu sebenarnya bagi saya subjektif. Orang punya versi tentang cantik masing-masing, sehingga saya ingin orang yang melihat itu punya versi kecantikan itu sendiri.
Okay, so why like the goddess with the leaves, right? Why it covers? So first thing first, the leaf is called daun siri. In Makassar, siri it said it's purity. So, and in the Lagaligo legend of the story, there is the beautiful woman. And why he wanted to close with the leaf? Because he want you guys to interpret the beauty. So like it's your imagination. How would you see this as what beautiful? He doesn't want to do that because he want you guys to do and interpret your beautiful in your own way.